Hello and good morning. Hey Luke, how's it going? I don't know where I left off this weekend with respect to botland changes. August 18th. Did I upload this Friday night? Hey Dale, hey Thalsey. And yeah, how's it going, Thalsey? Yeah, all is well. Thank you, and thanks for resubbing. Yeah, almost a year. Actually, this week, I think we're going to hit the first 12-month subscriber. When I say this week, I really mean the next 6 days. I don't know if it'll be on stream. But wow. Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's get the last today command. I'm not gonna have any more votes in this straw poll, I think. I don't know what this was left at either. Yeah, I should save this off somewhere. Save this straw poll about screen shortcuts. This includes votes from before I moved it to the bottom. Hit a year with them next Wednesday. Man, it's crazy to hear about that stuff. Because yeah, every once in a while I'll hear that something happened a year and a half ago, a year ago, and that I was still streaming then. it's just ridiculous to me. So let's edit this. Hey EJ. So Monday, Adam is working on some administrative tasks like cleaning up his to-do list. He will update this command when he's done. Botland is actually already online right now. Where's the Eclipse cam? I don't know if I'd be able to see the eclipse from this window that I have here. Although I'm sort of along that diagonal stripe, like kinda sorta, that's gonna get a good view of the eclipse. But I don't plan on looking at it or anything. I don't really care that much. I think that I'll watch a video or something afterward. It'll be just like watching it in person. Okay, so the first thing we need to figure out is, did I ever upload this? Because I don't remember this at all. 3 days ago. Well, not for me, you won't. You're gonna go outside and look at it without protection? It's apparently not any more dangerous than looking at the sun regularly is. Okay, where did we modify this stuff? So this is there. What is in this changelog? Footer. Allow for editing bot names. Did I do that? Ah, yeah, I did. Okay, cool. Then yeah, the new version. Oh, you know what I could have done? I could have just pressed that 12 instead of trying to hunt down changes. Yeah, 155, and that's 155. Now what do I hear? Yeah, okay, cool. So I did upload this. So I don't need to do anything there. I just need to clean up the to-do list. And then as far as figuring out what's going on this week, the reason today is another UI day is because I wanted to ease my way into what I knew I was working on already. There are some other things that I'd thought of doing, but this weekend was kind of nonstop. So Saturday, what happened on Saturday? I don't remember half of this stuff now. But Saturday evening, my sister-in-law came over. So she's staying with us now for a little bit. And then that night, I hadn't exercised 3 times that week. So I had to exercise a third time. And I went and ran about, I think, 5 or 6 miles. And I went to sleep. And then yesterday, we went for a leisurely bike ride. We got these bikes that you can just pick up and take them somewhere, and they charge you by the hour. There's some app associated with them. And it was fine, but their definition of leisurely was not my definition of leisurely, and I was really struggling to keep up with them. And we went for, I don't know, not very long as far as a bike ride goes, maybe like 6, 7 miles. And I was just out of it at that point. And that's when my friends started questioning, like, is something wrong with your bike? And I didn't know, so I swapped bikes with my wife, and it was totally different. I could go super fast, and so then I felt bad because for the last like 1 or 2 miles, my wife was on that bad bike, but I was getting a workout, and I was like, is this me? Is it the bike? It's looking good. Main menu looks really thin. Like it's been designed solely for tablet use. I think you're talking about the news page. And if you're talking about this page, which let me size it like this. If you're talking about this, I don't think this looks thin to me. It communicates almost everything it can without needing to take up multiple lines. And then if you're talking about this was always this size. I just colored it differently. And if it's something else, then I don't know what you're referring to. But hey, Nuffly, hey, I'm Perry. Okay, so what we have to do is clean this up. Anyway, so the reason of me telling you that stuff is because I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. And I feel like I need a little bit more. So I wanted to come back to something I kind of know what I'm doing. After this, there's still some other things in that beta document I got to work on. Hey, 3D Extended. There's the news page, just a fresh pair of eyes. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of comments on that, how everything's looking a lot better. And I think really it better be after the amount of work I put into it. But yeah, Jason had done those designs that are more final, and so we have nicer looking everything. I think it's good. How are the stats with the game being on all weekend? Not great, actually. I didn't do anything to advertise this other than putting one message in Discord, but there were 98 games played over the course of 4 days. If we're just going by number of games played, this is next to nothing. But maybe there are some people who played who are like, oh, this is a cool game. Yeah, I want to see it when it's out. Hey, Dysoxia what do you have other than UI and bug fixes left? So there's UI, bug fixes, there's one section on graphics, there's music, and there's SSL, and those are the necessary bits. Those are the 5 things here. Then the nice to haves, I did kind of want to work on some of the content. There's one issue that I'm a bit worried about. It's that some hardware makes sense for only defenders to have and not for attackers to have. So how do I handle that? And I'm not sure how that's going to work yet. So yeah, we'll have to figure it out. It would be cool if when you're dragging an item, it shows you a translucent preview of what it'll look like prior to dropping on the bot. So when you drag an item right now, it's dragging the image that correlates to that item. I think what you're suggesting is it'd be nice to see it on your bot, which I don't know. I mean, you see the preview right here, and if you drag it and you don't like it, you would just drag it away from that bot. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'm probably not going to do that now only because of the programming that will go into doing that. The same kind of thing happens over here, except for this doesn't modify your appearance. But as you drag, you can see I've got a laser icon right here, and I can drag it to wherever it needs to be. So I think equipping bots is good. It's not the best yet. I think I need to make these take up the whole height of this container. But yeah, we'll get to things like that eventually. Yeah, so as far as finishing this, finished UI work. Yeah, that's a blender with lasers. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you had seen all of the different bot families, and thankfully I can show you them now pretty quickly. So if you haven't seen Blender, you probably haven't seen these other ones. I'll just click them pretty quickly. Here's JunkBot, here's BearBot, Rocket, Vacuum, Water, the blender you saw, Sewing Machine, Rice Cooker, Ninja, and just 4 more. Anglerfish, which I think is great, Seahorse, Sea Monster, and BoatBot. We finally got Boatland to be a thing. So let's start collapsing some of these. I already moved everything pretty much to the end of this, so it shouldn't be too bad. And we'll just get done with as many things as we can today from this section of the to-do list. I'm not in a huge rush or anything. You'll need some more interesting assets. What do you mean, Dysoxyephedrine? Because I think the beauty of these is that you can combine them any way you want. So if you really like, I don't know, let's say the Ninja head, which I probably don't even own. Oh, I do, but it's in use. Let's just go buy another one. Yeah, if you like a certain headpiece with a certain torso piece, then you just combine them. So I think you can come up with some very interesting bots. Maybe something out of pop culture, not to say memes. I'd like to have everything be pretty original. I think references to pop culture works for some games. And in other games, it feels incredibly cheap to me. I was playing... what was that game? Evoland. And I did not like how they treated this. I felt like it was, how many references to other games can we cram into our game? And other games can sometimes try to do that, but they get away with it. Like World of Warcraft kind of does that, but there are so many quests in World of Warcraft that when you come across that one in whatever it's called, Tanaris or something, or Un'Goro Crater, and it's like, oh, this is like the game Zelda. It's, hey, that's only one quest line in all of the zones in Warcraft. So I think that sort of thing's okay. But for Botland, there's not that much surface area for inserting pop culture, I think. Hey, Clayman. I'm doing well. Hey, Mike. Wrong channel. And Spurtman and Demon Wolf and Neochromer. Hi, everybody. Good to see you all here. Don't think it's there anymore through Cataclysm. Yeah, I haven't played in a very long time, so I don't know what it's like anymore. But I remember you had to go, rescue Lincoln or something, and you got the boomerang that he was wielding, and it was a trinket, and you could throw it. And I know they had references to a lot of things in World of Warcraft. But yeah, me playing that Evoland game, after, an hour or half an hour or something of playing, and I'd already seen a ton of references, and I thought, like, they're kind of beating me over the head with this. Do I need to do anything else here? Oh, nice. Yeah. Thanks, Demon Wolf. No longer able to log in Safari. What was this for? Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I should probably... it's not that important, actually. Okay, well, as long as I'm at this, let me get rid of some of these things. Make it so that spawners are associated with a blueprint and can only produce that blueprint. This stuff just doesn't matter anymore. See, the thing is, my to-do list is at 4,200 lines, and pretty much everything below this point is probably meaningless, and that accounts for 1,200 lines. So I know this isn't the most exciting thing to do, but I'm going to take care of some of this stuff right now. Like this week of 7-11 goals. This must have been 7-11-2016, given that this is 7-25-2016. Figure out how animations are going to work. Yeah, I actually never figured that out. Wow, we're canceling this stuff. What else do we have here? Yeah, to do original. I think this is all still relevant. Hey, Zilly. Hey, why did you switch account names, out of curiosity? UIUIO. Full API documentation, teach people about terminators and Blockly. Yeah, this is still something I should do. Troubleshooting. Wow. Oh, okay. You're still apparently a subscriber on this account? Are you paying money that you don't realize you're paying? You should try using an emote. You haven't paid? Okay, then it's probably your fake sub. Yeah, it's fake. There is no Adam Fail. But there is Adam Party. So if your scrap total changes during this process, or in fact, yeah, this doesn't matter. This is bad. I don't know why this text is white. I think it's because, yeah, it treats this as to-do items. I should probably just mark these as stars, not periods. Factories, factories. Oh. This is actually done. I'll just mark this as done whenever we mark the last item as done. Although really, does this matter? It doesn't. Let's put this here. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. No, I don't care about any of this stuff, huh? Deploy tickets. God, I remember this stuff. Oh man, that was ridiculous. This was all ridiculous. For those who, hey Liquidor, for those who don't know, that video talks about when Botland used to be real time, and that's what all of these things are referring to. There were spawners and factories, and we had to balance how the game would work there, and it just didn't work out. I think a lot of the issue that we ran into is that whoever got in the lead would always be in the lead. And sure, there are some things we could have done about that, but the other problem is that what were you doing during a game? You had like 2 actions, but the problem is it was a real-time game and you only had 2 actions. I think it's fine for a strategy game to have like 2 large decision trees that boil down to a couple actions. You lost your sub. Oh no. Another Plaid Blade Ship too. Yeah, this is when a tile contains a spawner and a bot. Actually, killing the enemy CPU wins you the game. Oh man, what a stress-filled time this was. Yeah, this concept of extra bots that you could always have out. I just think back to this and I don't know. You know how every once in a while you hear a song and it'll remind you of a particular time in your life? Maybe you were on a road trip somewhere, or you were playing a particular game or something. That's what this is doing right now. This was a very stressful time in my life that these notes were from. And it was right around that time, August last year. Yeah, this is where this stuff started. The end of July for this list. It was not good. Saw this on Hacker News. Oh, Preact? I've heard of this. Well, I'll write it down. This is the thing that Canadian guy made, right? Time deploy system. Choose random enemy and directions in the case of ties. Yeah, I don't know if this is currently happening. Hey, Magnetic Bind. Yeah, okay, if Preact has been here for a long time, I'm not going to end up reading this, actually, Liquidor. Yeah. Okay, what did I ever do with find closest enemy? Oh, how does this work? Find entity. Does this randomize everything? It sorts by whatever particular sort order you want. And then it just returns the 0th one. What we should do instead is filter by the lowest one. Okay, what do you guys think? Let me ask you guys this question. So suppose you have, let's just take a picture of this. Suppose you have this setup. Let's say you are here. So you're this, let's say you're a bot right here. And there are 4 enemies around you. And you say, find the closest blender. From the black square, suppose you say, find the closest blender. Do you expect it to, I don't know where to put this text. Do you expect it to find the same one every time? Like the left one or the top one or something like that? Or do you expect it to randomize between these? Because they're all technically the closest. And there are some implications for either of those things happening. But yeah, out of curiosity, what do you guys expect? Soul Sorcerer. People tend to easily forget why it's faster and smaller. It lacks tons of features, and the community. Blog posts like this don't help. I was actually thinking about this the other day. What if you developed using React and then published using Preact? I'd say to randomize. One random, but every time the same. What does that mean, 3D extended? Randomized. Don't really need a big community when it's something like that. What would be the different implications? So if you're not, let's say these are all enemies and you have a weapon and your code says something like find the closest enemy and then just fire at that enemy. If it got the same one every time, then you would just be working on the life bar of one of these bots. If it didn't get the same one every time, then you might be spreading damage across all of these different bots. So that's one such implication. Basically that the user has to code around that, but they need to be aware that's even happening. And I think the other implication is if you get the same one every time, let's say you get the left one, then defenders, given that they're on the left side of the arena right now, are going to get attackers that are closer to their CPU. But attackers, given that they're on the right side, are going to get defenders that are probably to the left of them, which is most of the case. So it's tiny little things that can change the game, but I think it more boils down to just what do you expect to have happen here, and that's why I asked. I think you should return a random choice. Gives a chance for people to create strategies to confuse enemy bots. Random. The same every time, but no fixed rule that is like... Oh, I see. Okay, got it. Randomly find the first and continue on that. I probably can't do that. Randomly find the first and then continue on that. Because that involves me keeping track of like a ton of extra variables. Because let's say, I mean, in this case, let's say I just randomly pick the top one. And then let's say this bot moves over here and this bot moves over here. Now this is in a different set, so should it choose that one again? Or what if this moves out of range and then it has to... I don't know, there's some weird stuff that could happen, I think. Why don't you change the API to return an array of entities with documentation that if more than one is returned, it's due to the fact that they're all the same distance? I think that already exists. I don't fully recall because I did this a while ago. Yeah, find... No, not that one. Find all... Oh, no, there's no way to really do that. You can say find all enemy bots, and then you can filter them to give you the lowest distance, but I guess this would just give you one of them. It wouldn't give you all of them. Does every entity have a UID or something that you can just order by? It'll be random to some extent, but it'll be the same one if available. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, and then if... Well, that wouldn't exactly be the same thing as what 3D Extended was saying. Because you'd still run into the case where, let's say you pick this top one and it has an ID of 5, and this is 6, and this is 7, and this is 8. But then this one, which is 4, moves into range here, and then it's like, okay, well this one has a lower ID, so I'll just pick that one for you. So, I don't know. That's why I don't think picking and remembering for you is a good idea. I think you should just handle this stuff. But thank you guys for the input on this. I will give you all a point. And then let me copy paste this whole conversation. But it won't be the same input. The way find closest enemy bot works is it has no input. So you can't memorize the return value of this. You can do that for like purely functional code, but this is very state driven. Alright, well, nice, Thelzy, and thanks for dropping in. Thanks for the resub. Probably say the one closest to the CPU. But would you want it to be the one closest to the CPU if you're a defender, if you're an attacker, both? Like, I guess what I should do is, I need to document this regardless. I'm just wondering if I should do anything right now about it. Because the other thing you could do, as a player, you can always just write code around this yourself. Where you say something like, if old closest bot still exists, and get distance to old closest bot is whatever distance you want it to be, less than acceptable distance, then do something with that. Otherwise, old closest bot equals find closest enemy bot. Something along this line, where you cache it yourself, and then you have your own distance thing that you check for, and cool, then you just do whatever you need to do. Thread table. Is there a cheat sheet for the methods we can use while coding? There kind of is. Where is this? Here it is. Yeah, so there kind of is. It should be in game eventually. We don't have the UI for that yet. And also I don't really have some of the helpful functions I want to do. Hey the King. Can you explain what this is? Yeah, this is a game called Botland, and you make bots and then you can write scripts for them if you want, and you don't have to write scripts if you don't want. So you control exactly what they do, and that way during games you're not manually controlling them, let's say with a controller or a keyboard and mouse. So you tell them ahead of time what they should do in all these cases. So maybe I just say fire lasers and then pursue an enemy. And maybe I want to kill the enemy with the lowest life as opposed to the lowest distance. So you're writing out AI, and it's not supposed to be this like complex programming stuff or anything. And then that's it. You put them into the arena and they just follow your AI blindly. So if you wrote bad AI, then your bots aren't going to do a whole lot. And if you don't write any AI, it'll just use a baseline of what it thinks is good. Do we ever get it next to the editor? Yeah. I want to do something like that eventually. I think for beta, having to look at a separate page is not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, for release, it should probably be there. How hard was it to implement Blockly as an out-of-the-box solution? It wasn't too difficult. Or at least knowing what I know now, I would say it wouldn't be too difficult another time. It'll probably take like a week to integrate with your code base. It all depends on what you're trying to do. Yeah, that is the large water bottle. Okay, well here's the randomization talk. I should save this somewhere. On randomizing. Actually, you know what? I'll just put this here. Hey AMD. How's it going? Yeah, this. This is probably, the item above is probably from July 2016, but the conversation below is from today. So we should still keep this somewhere. I don't know where. We'll put this on just the to-do list, and I can decide this later. So it's Scratch plus JS plus skills? Yeah, basically. And by the way, this is online now if you want to check it out. If you just go to play.bot.land, you can sign up for an account, and you can try attacking other people. What's nice is when somebody attacks you, so here we can see pawn defeated my defense. If I click this, I can see exactly what pawn did. I can see they've got artillery, melee, and reflect, and I can play through this phase and see, okay, they're killing these chips that I have. My bots are doing nothing right now, so he just gets free kills on these. And then if we speed this up a little bit, yeah, we can see them engaging over here. And then in phase 2, that's when he starts putting more bots down. So you'll look at something like this and you'll think, how can I change my strategy so that I'm not going to lose this next time around? And in this case, maybe what I do is I stop having my bots engage one-on-one like that. Maybe I make them group up more. But in phase 3, we can see kind of a fatal mistake that I made. Let me see if this will work. These bots that I have here have teleport and melee. They're not that aggressive though. So for the rest of the match, I think this one just stands there and just lets the CPU die. So I've got to do something about that, because if it just moved over here and teleported, it would easily win. But I didn't make it do that. Okay, flip bot sprites, remaining tasks. Oh, wait. This might actually be necessary. Make sure you can repair a cloaked ally. Did I ever do this? Are there repair tests in here? Area repair. Should repair cloaked allies. Yeah, I apparently did this. What else? Repair an ally that's out of range. Well, I don't think I did that. I should probably do that. Hey, Pixel. The reason it didn't teleport was because it couldn't see it. How would you know where to teleport? So what? Okay, there's an API that I've wanted to add for a while that lets you know that your CPU is taking damage regardless of where you are. So what would happen toward the end of this? Let's speed this up and just get to that end situation. Yeah. So here, yes, this bot cannot see that one. But what I could do is if this many turns have passed, so I can tell every time I get a turn, I can just increment a counter. And if that counter hits 40 or 50, it means there are still enemy bots, but my CPU's not dead. So at that point, I should just move around randomly. And if even 10% of the time I end up finding this bot, then great. That's 10% higher win ratio in these cases. And if not, then, well, it's better than just standing here. So this is where I feel, yeah, customizing your AI to an extreme extent is going to get you that little bit of extra win ratio that you could get. So I don't think this is ever done. And I think we should add this to a test somewhere. Test repair to make sure you can't repair an out of range ally. Hey, multiple pixels. Actually, and Perry, I never thought of something like that. I wonder if we should add that in. A teleport random. That could be really interesting for defender bots. It's probably almost useless for attackers, but pretty interesting for defenders. So yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that. I like that idea. Add an API to teleport randomly. Maybe you can specify a distance. Random teleport 5 may teleport anywhere within 5 tiles. That would actually probably be bad. No, maybe random teleport min distance, max distance. Something along those lines. This could be helpful for defenders who have had 30 turns pass of just standing around, and now they want to move randomly to try to find enemies. It's actually really cool. I like that. I wonder if there should be a special hardware just for this, like a seek and destroy kind of thing. Maybe every time you teleport, you also increase your sensor range. Maybe custom hardware for this would be interesting. Maybe every time you teleport, you get activate sensor skull. Is aggro/threat a bad idea? Any entity that attacks yours can get added to a threat table. Can be used for selecting random or similar. This also gets reversed. Entity attacks an enemy entity. Didn't really do anything, but you add one. So the reason I don't think I want to do something like that is because when you think of threat levels in games, or enmity, or aggro, or whatever it would be called, you think of an AI that has to act perfectly. So if you're attacking in a raid against a single enemy, the tank is the one that should be taking damage. So if DPS takes that aggro level away from the tank, then yeah, they should be killed for that. And that's a perfect AI that's responding to that. But in Botland, since you're the one writing AI, I understand, yeah, having this threat table could be interesting, but what does it do in cases of enemy is too far away to detect, enemy is cloaked, a landmine blew up, or let's say the enemy died after registering on this table? Are these cases that we just silently, we either don't add them in this case, or we drop them from this table for you? Like, what are you doing with this table to act differently? So what I think I'd rather have at first is you trying to figure out how you want to attack things yourself. And if there needs to be an extra API eventually, then we could add that. Ignore, continue, skip. Yeah, but then at that point, what are you using the aggro table for? I mean, do you even care about attacking the thing that's doing the most damage to you? Like, this is the typical MMORPG case where you have a tank, like you're here, and the tank is here, and they have healer number 1 and healer number 2. If you were to attack the tank, which is probably the thing with the highest threat level against you, you're probably just going to die because they have 2 healers healing them. If you attack the healers, then the tank loses its support, but these aren't generating any threat toward you. So I think you should just figure this stuff out in the game. Because otherwise, if I give you this tool and this tool ends up being just bad most of the time, then it was probably a waste of time for me to code it. Easy, no? So I'd just rather not do that. And we'll see. If it's needed or people keep suggesting that, I don't mind checking it out eventually. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this, because most of this is actually done. Add administrative APIs, make the randomized bot stop randomizing color. So you get updated about the queue length via pusher. Look into the performance bug when dragging. This actually would be a good idea. What if that's up to the player? It's all numbers. So what I was getting at is, let's say I gave you an API for like get enemy colors. And let's say for some reason this takes a day to code. No one would ever use this API, right? It gives you numbers, but those numbers are never going to be helpful because color has no impact on the game. So what I'm saying is, if I take a day to code something like get threat levels, and it returns an array of entities that are still existing and whatever, that have done damage to you, if nobody uses this, is there a reason to code it? And so if you can come up with a convincing enough scenario where people are using get threat levels, then yeah, maybe I could reconsider. But I think for now it's probably not worth prioritizing. Prevent you from dragging the edit button. What did this look like? Whoa, look at that. This is what the game used to look like. I'll actually put this into chat in case anyone's curious about this. But yeah, wow. God, look at this. This bot isn't even on the right tile. Yeah, this was actually about a year ago that the game looked like this. Man. Also, I can't easily show you this, but see this little purple button right here? This was in-game chat, which I have since gutted from the game. Wow. What is this? Tons of bots getting stuck in the arena? Oh, I remember this. Oh man, I haven't seen Red as a Tortoise in forever. But yeah. Nostalgia overload? Well, it's definitely interesting for me to see this stuff. This was a long time ago. You removed in-game chat. Yeah, because you're no longer connected to another player. Well, I deleted the code around in-game chat 3 to 4 weeks ago. But chat hasn't been in the game for like 8 months or something. Hey, legit Jazz. Okay, point doubling bug. There's another bug. The edit button is pushed off screen. What is this? Where is edit? Oh, here it is. And yeah, it eventually just disappears. I remember that. So clear chat, adding the ability to delete blueprints. We're not going to do this for too much longer. I'll probably spend another 5 minutes on this. Yeah, I don't care about this. Look into this. The matchmaker failed a health check in such a way that it got re-added. I think this might actually still be a problem. Unfortunately, I don't have a date for this. I think this note is from July 2016. Or maybe August. But this might still be a problem. And I don't think these logs will even help me necessarily. Well, I'll just cancel this actually. We'll find it again. Uglify was a problem. I just turned everything off. Delzy hit a bug where the client didn't know about certain entities. Then there's a bunch of print screens here. Oh, yeah. Jeez. That's probably not an issue anymore. That is old, yeah. how frequently in-game seems to render. If I just cut out all the keys for which it updates, then I only see the bots move in WebGL every second. Huh. That's interesting. This is something that I should keep as a bug. No, I'll just say this was created in 2016. This is probably still an issue. Hey, Capillara. Is there another React license change? Because I'm not up to date on this. Click upon the arena so you're looking at a bot view. Press Control K so it dies. I don't care about this. Make it easier for me to deploy to AWS. I kind of did that. I think tiers should appear in the filled slot, making it obvious that that action is possible. But we'll replace an existing slot. Oh, I know what this is about. This is about equipping hardware. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what this. Can you sum it up for me, Capillara? Yeah, AMD, I haven't gotten around to that. And even the tutorial that you can see is not as polished as it could be. Judge Bacon wants this feature. Oh, nice. Yeah, okay, fine. We can put this in. Basically pursue entity in a specific coordinate. If you sue Facebook, you lose rights to use React. Wow. Interesting. This would probably immunize them against a bunch of different companies. Yeah, rewriting everything else isn't probably that big a deal at that point. The game server crashed due to a normal exception. Test the bug on the others. Game servers just can't start up. Give everyone a figured out script by default. Make an API that lets us get the time remaining in each game. Think about it this way, if you're a startup and Apple would like to buy you. I don't know how hard it would be to convert. Let's say I wanted to do this for Botland. If I wanted to convert all of the UI from React to some other library, if some company were going to acquire me, there's definitely a cost to doing that. But I don't know, I don't think that cost would be that big compared to what the budgets these companies usually have. Is your start menu at work? I haven't seen a start menu like this in forever. Wow. The stack trace in single player when you leave it idling for too long. Deploy and infrastructure fixes? What was this even supposed to be? Alright, take care, AMD. How does my start menu look? I mean, this is what my start screen looks like right now. This is probably still an issue. In fact, there are probably a lot of little things on this list that are still issues. I will eventually get back to UI today. And I guess I said that I didn't want to spend more than about 5 minutes on this. How much longer do I have on this list? Oh my god. Okay, I really should just get to the bottom of this, because then I can remove those hundreds of lines. Yeah, I recently added StarCraft. I figured I'd download it. I played a few games. There's something that was actually kind of disappointing. They have these maps that are in a folder called Popular, and if you try playing them, it's just... you start in the middle of nowhere, and sometimes the computer players start in the middle of nowhere too. So it doesn't actually let you really play the game that well because the AI gets glitched. I was playing Classic. Remaster costs money. I thought on Classic you'd be able to play the same ladder that you would on Remastered, but the ladder only exists on Remastered apparently. If you click join, it just says you need to purchase the game. Okay, so it's going to be this same thing. Yeah, so Monday, Adam is working on UI. Let's see, is there anything obvious I'm going to be working on? No, just random stuff. Yeah, I think this is fine. So Adam's working on UI. Botland is online here. View changes here. Yep, sounds pretty good. Antimatter tape. In 2 weeks, I'm going to do a stream. I don't think I'll stream StarCraft. I don't think you guys would want to watch that either. I watch some players who... Well, I watch a guy who's been, I think, a pro StarCraft 2 player. And I watch him play StarCraft 1. And being an armchair strategist, I can't enact these strategies, but I know where this guy's screwing up. And it's frustrating to watch even him, and he's moving at like 250 APM. I have about 70 or 80 APM at StarCraft. And I don't think that's going to get much better. Even MS is okay with that license. Never played but always wanted to. Well, StarCraft, the original, is now totally free Soul Sorcerers. So if you just log into your Battle.net account, you can go download it. It's 3 gigabytes for some reason. I don't know what they did, but I don't think it was 3 gigabytes back then. So memory leaks and performance issues. This is something that strikes every once in a while. And I never totally figured it out because I think it's when I reuse a tab many, many times. So right now, Botland is using 255 megabytes. 270 megabytes. So I don't know if this is a memory leak or if it just needs a garbage collect right now. We could try to take a look at this, but I don't like doing that in Chrome. I think Firefox is better for that. Also, I don't know what it would be allocating. So yeah, it seems to have leveled off. It went up again. Okay, well, we'll take a look at this in Firefox. Okay, take care, Liquidor. Actually, I don't think I can even start this up yet. I think what I need to do is... Oh, man. Firefox loses all of my settings every time that refresh dialog comes up. And that happens once a week. And I still don't know why. And I've tried reinstalling Firefox. So record call stacks. And I need to take some snapshots. So I should refresh the page. Yeah. Okay, so let's do this. We'll take a snapshot. Well, actually, let's do it in the game. Alright, so snapshot. And then we'll wait some time, we'll take another snapshot, and we'll see what happens. Is there a task manager for Firefox? What is this thing even called in Chrome? Task manager, yeah. So is there a Firefox one? About add-ons memory extension will give you a nice looking page showing how much memory each of your extensions is using. That's for extensions though. I want to see it just for tabs. I don't know if just regular task manager will show this. Well, it doesn't split it by tab, but I guess I only have one tab open. But I don't know if this is all Botland or if it's on Firefox overhead too. That's the problem. However, it does look like this is increasing, so let's take another snapshot. So this one was 82 megabytes. If this new one is way more, then yeah, we might have a memory leak. It's actually less. Okay, well, let's compare these two. Check and check. About memory. Let me take a look at this off screen. What is this? Huh. Okay, well, that did something. Let's take a look at this for right now. So there's hardly any change here. Other than this, which is what got garbage collected, I think. This is probably coming from Pixie. Oh, Bluebird, okay. So some promise related stuff. Anything with a plus here? A couple of things. And that could just be V8 compiling code. Yeah, I don't think there's anything to worry about here. I want to look at what happens when we go to the main screen now. So let's do this. Go to the avatar page. Somewhere in here, we just ran into a whole bunch of memory being used. Let's take another snapshot. And then I'll change the color of the avatar. And the memory usage should go up because it will have cached all of these different images. And we'll take another snapshot now. Is it just me, or is this stretched? What are you talking about? Just these green bars? That looks stretched to me. Because that's about, I don't know, 3 pixels tall on my screen. It looks larger on your screen. I don't know what's happening there to do that, though. I stream in 1050p, so maybe whatever's going on is it's trying to stretch vertically to fit your monitor. This didn't change at all. I'm surprised about that. Huh. This could be anything. Yeah. I don't know, this does only happen every once in a while. Well, I guess let's wait for it to happen again. As for performance issues, that is, a lot of this is probably being caused by unnecessary Redux actions. And one of the things I wanted to figure out here is why, when you're in the game, so I click this, every time I pan the arena, it updates a whole bunch of stuff. I don't see it doing anything now. It's making a fool out of me. Weird. Maybe it's over here that this happens? There were a ton of calls to, well, okay, there's that, get item template depot, and that shouldn't happen. Excuse me. Yeah, there are a ton of calls here, but there used to be something about setting, yeah, here, set num chip placement stats. They're getting spammed as I hover over the arena. This only happens when you're at the maximum number of bots placed. But I don't even see this happening anymore. And I know this was an issue. Maybe, oh, hey, there it goes. Oh, it's when, oh, I think I know what's doing this. I think it's when, okay, hang on, let's try that again. We got out of here. We went back to edit. And then it just started happening? No, this just happened to get called twice. That's it. Oh, I know this was spamming it though. Oh, it's spamming it now too. Huh. What causes that? EJ, he was saying earlier that he didn't know why he was even logged into Zilly. Yeah, so the only way I can figure out how to repro this is here. I go from this page over to this page, and then I just start hovering over stuff. Oh wait, is it when I hover over a socket? Yeah, I think it's that. That's strange. Yeah, hovering over anywhere else doesn't do anything. Then I hover over a socket and it gets called. Nope, not there. Not there. Huh, I'm confused. Oh, when I hover over another bot, that's why. Yeah, that's it. Okay, cool. Let's... So I think the repro is actually this. One, have a blueprint selected so that you're in placement mode. 2, have the maximum number of bots placed. 3, hover over an existing bot. Will I be able to see the eclipse? Yeah, I would be able to. I am not planning on it though. It should be in what, 40 minutes or something? Asyntonic. Question number 1, why? Oh, you're done with Scooby-Doo? Huh. I probably read that on your Discord. And just it didn't click with me. You were in the zone? What were you working on? That's question number 2, by the way. So why does this ever happen on the inventory screen? Let's try to, how would I even remember this? I want to remember that the pixel I should hover over is right here. How would I do that when this is no longer on screen? I'd probably need to know my mouse X and Y coordinates. Or I line it up with something else over here. So I guess it lines up with the top of the tree button, and down here it lines up with Notepad. So the right side of Notepad and the top of the tree button, when I go over to a new page, okay, which was like roughly somewhere around here, these pixels, does that cause this to happen or no? Yeah, it's a different page that's loaded, so of course it wouldn't. But then why was I seeing this get hit when I was on this page before? Strange. Yeah, this is all fine. Curio stuff, project for City of Boston. Is it still the bike thing? Hey, Mandra. Who made the game? Oh, whoops. What was I? Did I do that right? No, it'd be the left side of the notepad. Darn it. I don't think this means anything anyway, though, because I tried all of this stuff. Oh, well. Yeah, no point in doing that, I guess. Oh, well. Yeah. Well, this is still an issue. And I should try to figure that out, but I don't think it's causing any huge performance issues. Oh, the bike thing is another city. Oh, what's this new project then? Fix scroll spies. Yeah, I should definitely work on that. Okay. I can't figure out what's wrong exactly. I think that when the issues start happening is when I should be investigating. Well, the scroll spy issue should be a problem over here. Yep, it is. So we just gotta fix this. Identify 30 locations for solar-powered radar speed signs in Boston. So they gave you a bunch of data on where they caught people speeding or where there were the most accidents or something? Or is it your job to go figure out what data to even collect, and then they collect it, and then you parse it through Curio? Like, what's the scope of this? Also, why are you still awake right now? Why don't you go to sleep? I don't think you should pull an all-nighter and then continue to stay awake for the next 24 hours. Both? Oh, wow. Okay. It's a lot of responsibility. Oh, you slept for 5. Wait, what? How did you pull an all-nighter and then... Oh, yeah, you're 3 hours ahead of me. Man, that's crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. I already had it typed out. Take care, Magnetic Mind. Have a good day. So this has a height of 1557. This has a height of 2697. What is the thing that is only 1557? Oh, that. Okay, yeah. You gave me crash data, some speed studies, so I did a bunch of resource and other relevant data. Wow. But it's like solving puzzles, right? Each new project is going to be a different puzzle to solve for you. Did I ever figure out how to get this stuff working? Do I just need to set something like flex basis to 0? That does not fix this. Not at all. Can any of these change to that and then just be fixed? This doesn't... Oh, wait, yes, that does work. I just changed scroll by scroll panel, and that fixes everything. I could have sworn I had done this already. Apparently not. Yeah, weird. Can I develop a browser RTS game like Travian with Node.js, or should I use PHP? So the browser side of things, you can use, I mean, you pretty much have to use JavaScript and HTML, but how you get to JavaScript and HTML could be different. For the server side of things, you can use any server you want. You can use Node, you can use PHP. I guess it all depends on how you're going to connect to that server. But for something like that, I think you can try both out in just a really contained way and see which one you like better. Hey, R7 Max. Yeah, Blender. This is just the one I happened to click here. I mean, I could have clicked any one of these. So if I refresh the page in Firefox, it should no longer out-scroll that thing. And if I refresh it in Chrome, it should look how it always did. So let's try this out. Yes, it still does look like how it always did. But now this should be fixed in Firefox. So flex basis is pretty important in Firefox. Yeah, this looks fine now. I did that thing where images got laid out differently though. I gotta figure that out. What about this? Yeah, that looks good. Did this always cover the inventory? I'm guessing the answer is yes. Yes, the answer is yes. No problem, GKH. So the only other page where I have to check this out is the avatar page. Also, these fonts are definitely different, right? Edit avatar does not look the same on both of these pages. They are ever so slightly different. So how did that happen? Source Code Pro is the font. If I get rid of font weight on both of these, do they start to look the same? Is this just a font weight problem? I don't know. I can't tell. Yeah, I think they're the same font now. So why, when I made this font weight 700, does it look so different? The I is very distinct. No, it is the same font. They're just slightly different somehow. Why? How does that happen? This is very specific too. This weight, this size. Am I using EM/REM? I'm using EM here. If I just said something like 24 pixels, would they be exactly the same? I'm using a normalizer as well, actually, yeah. I mean, I think I'm okay with this. Just, I thought there was a font loading issue. I don't think it is. Okay, well, this fixes this problem. We just added flex basis and we fixed this Firefox problem. Hey, Horror TV. It seems like Firefox renders the font a bit wider. Yeah. Okay. Fix scroll spies on Firefox. They just needed a flex basis property. Alright, arena changes. Get the header to look sort of like the mockup. I think there were some questions I had on this before I could do this work. It's mocked up to show the account name between store and settings. No, I didn't have a question about this. Okay, cool. We're finally going to do this. This is something... Here's what the arena looks like right now. I don't think I need Firefox open anymore. The arena has this header that you can collapse. The problem is that when you have something selected and you have this header, you've now shrunk the space where you can see the arena to... I don't know how many pixels it is, but much smaller than it would have been. So if you shrunk this whole thing, now you can't even see the arena, and the browser is still, whatever, 300 pixels tall. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the header. You could always close this context bar. That's still going to have to be there. And it's not like you could really see that much of the arena anyway right now. But it'd be nice to just not have that header there. So what we're going to try to do is get it to look like... the picture here somewhere. Where is it? Does anyone see arena? Oh, here it is. Yeah, so we're going to do this, and we're just going to get rid of this bar as well. There is one issue that remains, which is what do we do when you're watching a replay? Because when you're watching a replay, you don't have that blueprint bar, so there's nowhere to put the settings button. And that's, I guess, what I was going to talk to Jason about. So I guess I just can't totally get rid of that. Where is it? How will the user get to settings? We could add the header bar there. If we do, should it be hideable? What should happen when you're replaying as an attacker? Do we want to hide the logo on that header? Yeah, so when you're replaying as an attacker, what is going on? Okay, something we could do, because I don't think there's a reason for you to go to the store here, but you might have a reason to report a bug. We could just hide that button. As for the settings button, we could just float it up here. There could just be a settings gear there. That's probably not the worst thing in the world. So it makes me wonder how much of this should I try to change to put those buttons up there and get rid of this bar. Or we could just hide this by default. Oh, I don't know. We could just add a settings button floating at the upper right. Is there something planned to remove the useless modal when you click the start button without enough bots? But just enable or disable this button if we can? I don't think it's a useless modal. I think the issue is until you're familiar with Botland, you see the 0 out of 2 placed. And so you might think, oh, I have to place 2 bots. But that's not actually true. You only have to place 2 if you couldn't hit your maximum in the total across the whole game by being able to place enough in the later phases. So what I think, this is a bad example because it have to be based on what level you are. So let's try this. Attack, own, defense. No, that's also not great. Well, anyway, imagine this. Phase 1, or let's say you can place 5 bots per game, up to 2 per phase. So in phase 1, you can either place 1 or 2. in phase 2, if you placed 1 in phase 1, you have to place 2 now. But you may not realize that, so you may try placing 1 and then wonder why you can't start. Difference of opinion. Why can't I click something if I really, in the end, can't? I'd prefer the button disable the text like you need to place one more bot. Yeah, but the reason why I think isn't obvious, and this dialogue that comes up here tells you the full reason of, if you don't do this, you won't be able to hit the maximum number of allowed bots by the end of the game. And I think... I don't know. I think that that's important information. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll talk to Jason about that too. That could be a tooltip. Difference of opinion regarding UX. Yeah, I could talk to Jason about that. So Arena, should we just enable the commence button only when you're allowed to commence the match? I currently have it enabled as soon as you've placed a single bot. Like, place X more bot and hovering the question mark tells you why. I'll include this. And then Horo says, I agree with Hideo. For me personally, I'd feel like I'm wasting time by having to click those 2 buttons just to restart the game, instead of instantly seeing I need at least one more bot. No, so the UI indicators are already there to tell you what needs to be done. You know how many you can place in a phase, you know how many you have to place in the game. So you could already figure out whether or not you could click this button. But I think when you can't click it, I didn't think it'd be obvious to newcomers to the game why they can't click it. So basically you run into this scenario, right? So phase 1, you placed 1 bot. Phase 2, you now have to place 2. So placing 1, which worked in the last phase, won't enable the commence button. And I think that'll lead to confusion. I'll write this down here. Yeah, but new players won't be a majority. You can't base definitive UI on that. Yeah, I'll talk to Jason about it. I think it'll lead to confusion, but I do think maybe that confusion is just fine and can be alleviated a different way. Yeah. Okay. Close out of this. Get the header to look like the mockup. So settings in store goes in the upper left. Salvage is not possible with this page, yeah. And then, yeah, I guess this would be different here too. Can't customize anything as an attacker though. Yeah, in fact, even just attacking anything, you only get 1 bar over here. Darn, I gotta ask about that too then. I don't know if it's worth it doing the arena header. Yeah. We have the store and settings buttons shown in defense mode, but in attack mode, you only have 1 column of blueprints. So it would lead to tiny buttons for store and settings. do we want to change this? Yeah, for all I know, he might want to keep this header bar here, because what we have mocked up, you can see here we have, and I'm sick of this. I just shouldn't use this app anymore. We have settings, we have store, and I think this works fine because these are pressable buttons on mobile. These are a fine size. So if you imagine the settings button, it could expand to be that width if we ever wanted to. But when there's only one column of these, making a settings button take up only half the width is probably not bad. We could try to just add something in here anyway. Let's edit. How do we do this? Yeah, so if I add a div in here, it's basically froze Chrome. Warn me of closing an unsaved editor. I was thinking about this the other day, that we all use so many different applications and programs that how many users now go to settings who would have gone to settings, let's say 15 years ago? I feel like there's been a push to have fewer options customizable for the reason that just a lot of people aren't going to use them. So, but I'll bring this up. We'll talk about it. We probably have like a couple of hours worth of things to talk about here. So yeah, this hello, what if I just made this something like store and then settings? Yeah, so this would definitely be clickable on a PC. But yeah, I'll talk to him about it. These things we gotta fix. Select a chip, make a new blueprint, hit cancel. The chip's description doesn't show up. Okay. Select a chip. Oh, I already have the maximum number of blueprints though. We're gonna have to delete one of these. So let's delete this one. And then save. So select a chip. It says regen 15 life every turn. And then leave making a blueprint, and it does not have the description set any longer. So this is still a bug. Can't really do this until we have the final mockup. So what sets this in the first place? It's probably the act of selecting it. I guess clicking that plus button deletes the description. The green back button is still bothering me so much. Yeah, I can talk to him about that. I think I might already have something here. Yeah, I don't think he's final on these colors. And I think changing this to something else could just, yeah, be fine. Yeah. I'm not sure what we change it to, but yeah, I have it saved here. Where was it? I think I showed that to him. The yellow footer still triggers me. The context bar? So that was supposed to correspond to your selection in the arena. And this was supposed to be yellow as well. So it wouldn't look as strange. Yeah, there's still going to be a pass for the colors, I think. So maybe creating a blueprint is overriding where the description comes from. The context pane is not touching the footer. Is it not? I don't know what you're talking about, Isaiah. This is anchored at the bottom. Oh, in the mock-up? Oh, I didn't even see that. Interesting. It's rounded and separate. Yeah, I could have done that. I just didn't even notice that. Where is the parent of this? That's weird. This is not highlighting this tiny strip of yellow right here. So what is that? If I change the color of this, it's changing the whole thing. Oh, is this just weird highlighting? And I just can't see it? No, it's not weird. Oh, yes it is. It is weird. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Then yeah, we just give this some padding. Not like that. Arena context bar. I mean, yeah, I could have done that had I known. Silly eclipse. It's just gonna get darker and darker in here. Yeah, actually, I guess margin would work. I was gonna just make a new parent on it and give that padding. So yeah, it's pulled away a little bit. So let's see, top is gonna be 0, right, bottom, something like this. Probably a little bit more actually. Then rounded corners and a bit of a drop shadow. And this all goes on to Arena context bar. Oh, I'd already searched for that. So margin, drop shadow, and the last thing is rounded corners. Okay, let's try that. And every time we have rounded corners, we should probably have overflow hidden. So yeah, that's pretty good. I think it's a little bit more subtle, this box shadow, not 10 pixels by 10 pixels. The average. Yeah, minor improvements. Okay, cool. These things should all be over here. Nice. So, style, arena, context bar. Also, thanks for pointing that out, Hideo. I didn't realize it was detached from the footer in the mockup. It now floats a little away from the footer a little bit. Well, it doesn't help me with this bug, but it is a good thing to fix. So let's see, when you select a chip, what happens? It probably calls set selected structure. Yeah. Set selected structure. Here it is. Not that one. This one. Close the info panel if entity is selected. And what's this one? Yeah, here. And here's where we get the description. So something's overriding that. What is it? So one is click a chip. Then this gets called. then 2 is create a blueprint. And wherever that context bar renders, context bar here, and we take the description from yeah, the description text is getting wiped out. I'll have to find out why. Probably when you create a blueprint. Context bar, set description here. So when we click this, it sets it to regenerate 15 life every turn, and then we click this button and something else is probably setting it. Why is this taking forever? Yeah, this is now using a gigabyte of memory. How does this happen? And at this point, what do I even do? And this says 66 megabytes. I don't know what's going on. Oh, now it's back down to 400 megabytes. Hey Tim, how you doing? I saw you were back to working on your drivetrain simulator and you were streaming it. So do you feel like that break helped? Yeah, strange. Also, oh, you know what happened? Well, for one, it probably garbage collected. 2, something else must be getting in the way here. Because yeah, I do not know how that could work. Yeah, these are both 66 megabytes. So there's no leak here. Just taking up a gigabyte for some reason. It's consistent with my findings locally, but as you don't ship source maps, even in beta, can't do much. The break did help. Because I was wondering, I thought maybe you'd come to the conclusion that it wouldn't be helpful because you said in one of the first days you did some extra work. And I think that you probably didn't feel guilt around doing that work, but it still takes something out of you. But I'm glad that worked out for you. Okay, yeah, memory usage looks like it's back to normal. So I don't know what had happened there. Oh, you know what? Memory usage of the dev tools for this tab counts as memory usage for the page. Hey, Leve. Yeah, it's definitely Monday. Yep, Eclipse Day. Okay, well, this breakpoint never got called. But I guess when I go back to the arena, it'll get called? No, it didn't. Strange. So this sets it to something correct. Then we click this button, never gets called. Yeah, I think working when you want to work is interesting. And I feel myself being very slow today. And I also think, I don't know, I've been debating on should I have a different stream schedule for the next month or so? How much longer till the eclipse? Yeah, it depends on where you live. I think people were saying it's going to be about 12 minutes from now here. I hate Dig Down Deep. Yeah, so this is one of the things I was wondering about. Should I just change to a different schedule completely, or at least for the next month, maybe? I'm not sure. But I think if I'm not being productive on stream, it doesn't make sense to stream. So this is just getting unset, and oh wait, no, it's part of the state, and this thing gets, oh, I see what's happening. Okay, so context bar is what has the description state. So when it mounts, it needs to set the right description. And that should be it. That's, I think, the only problem here. Yeah, there's no componented mount. Set. So this is current is showing. Structure is showing equals this. If structure is showing this dot update description. This should work. Oh, got it. Okay. Thanks. And how should I pronounce your name? Okay, so let's try that again. We click this, it says Regen 15 life, and it still says Regen 15 life. Call me Abyss. So I'm just wondering how to pronounce your name or part of it, because if I call you Abyss, other people won't know who I'm talking to. This fixed it. I wonder how this works for this now. Yeah, this also works. Huh. Interesting. Grundy zone. Upgrund. I don't know who to trust you. Probably dig down deep. So it's Upgrund. Upgrundy zone? Grundy zone? Also, what does this mean? Because I want to write this down for the name pronunciations list. Aren't you set to Tate and CDM? Looks like it's only based on props. You can do that in the constructor, can't you? Yeah, you are correct now. I'm doing set state here. But if the props change... Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah, you're right. Good call, Hideo. Well, that fixes this bug. At least it should fix this bug. So we click this, we click this, we click this, and it should... Darn it, it's broken. How did this break? I think this might need to be in component will receive props because this doesn't seem to be correct in here. Yeah, sure you can. So it's updating the props and it needs component will receive props. Yeah. Let's see. Huh, interesting. I can read that, but I don't know what it means. Except for Rajal, I still remember that word. Sabotaging my own sub strategy. Are you talking to me? Oh, only subs can post links. I see. Okay, so let's check it out. This gets hit, sure. The clip should be in 6 minutes. Should get pretty dark. Okay, what did this work out to be? True. So why did this thing fail? Version 15 life every turn. That should have been fine. That's weird. Resfriado. Is it Saturday? See you all on Saturday. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. It should be setting the description correctly. And something must be overriding it, that means. Because nothing else has a set description call here. So this gets hit, we hit this plus button, we hit back. It calls into this, and then... Nope, nothing else calls into this. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This is the context bar's description. Maybe this gets called from somewhere else. Component did update, maybe. Oh man, none of this makes any sense. The last thing that I see get called here in context bar is setting description text. Oh, you know what? You can't call set state from here, can you? You need to... Okay, never mind. I see how this would work. Yeah, I need to just set this here. So update structure description. We just need to get the structure description. To the point where set description, set state. Just trying to think of the best way to do this. We could just say get description. That's weird. I don't want to do that. All right, I know what I'm gonna do. We'll say get view structure description, and we'll have it be all of this. Get this dot props dot in game state view structure. Well, that actually exists here too. Description. And we'll set this here. And we'll set this here. If structure showing this dot state dot description text equals this. And that should finally work. Let's try that out. So click this, regen 15 life every turn. Yeah, that fixed it. Okay, so component will receive props. I guess isn't totally necessary since we have component did update. Started keying off of that. I should write something here. Where are my React notes? Troubleshooting. Load resource. What is this? Is it trying to use the image with a null source? Component isn't updating when it should. Set state isn't working. Don't call set state from your constructor. Instead, just write this dot state equals whatever. Yeah. Hey, Blueberry King. So we should almost be at peak eclipse time. Should be in like 1 minute. So this is finally fixed. We had it. Here's the view from NASA's aircraft. Hey, Turbo Dave. Wow. Fix small bug. The bug was that a chip's... Well, it's not just a chip. I guess it's a structure's description. NASA.gov just went down. Wouldn't be set correctly after returning from edit blueprint because the description was based on a prop but saved in the state of the component. So now it should be Eclipse time. It's working 3 minutes ago. Click a bot, click an empty space in the arena. The context bar goes away, but the bot still looks like it's selected. Is this even a bug? I think it is a bug, but this isn't even reproing right now. Hey, J. Louise. I'm doing okay. I'm actually thinking of ending the stream significantly earlier than I'd planned on. I am just pretty tired right now. And I was thinking I should take a nap and then just go code off stream. I don't know. It's always tough because in these cases it's like, should I have just delayed the stream and gotten more sleep? Is there any amount of sleep that would make me feel like I'm going to be at the same level I'm normally at when I'm coding? Eclipse live? I probably can't do this on stream. Whoa. Neat. Huh. Yeah, neat. I like these Spanish bots, Adam. Wait, what's Spanish? I wonder, was this always a problem? Was this ever a problem? Because it's not a problem right now. Click a bot, click an empty space, the context bar goes away, but the bot still looks like it's selected. Maybe I fixed this and I just don't remember it. The red, yellow, red, yellow. Oh, I see. I thought you were talking about names. I'm like, is Blender a Spanish word that's probably pronounced differently? I know very, very little Spanish. Why can't you show that on stream? I don't like to show any copyrighted material on stream, so other people's videos usually fall into that. I don't know. NASA's probably not in that same category. Yeah, I don't think this is a bug anymore. Let's check the log and see if I already fixed it. This always takes a long time. Yeah, I never figured this part out. Maybe I can figure out how the function even gets called and approach it from that angle. So let's see, if I had fixed this, when was this filed? July 31st. Oh, that's not good, because that means I gotta search through a ton of these. Oh, I probably already fixed this on that day. Okay, yeah. I think I fixed this on July 31st. Should probably be a bit more aware of that when I'm using references. So, okay, Tim, I think that, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I think nobody cares. And this is one of the things that I found frustrating when I started streaming. And when I say nobody cares, I don't mean nobody cares about hearing what you have to say. I'm saying I don't think anybody really cares about copyright infringement on Twitch. If you look at how many people stream copyrighted music on Twitch and then the VODs just get muted, like, they're not allowed to stream that on Twitch. There are no repercussions, so everybody does it. And since everybody does it, everyone thinks it's okay. And I asked before I started streaming, like, is it okay for me to do this? I asked my lawyer. My lawyer said no. And then I asked Twitch, and Twitch said it's not up to us to do anything more than to mute VODs, basically. Like, the people who hold the copyrights to that music could sue a channel or send a cease and desist or something. And just nobody ever does that because that'd be terrible publicity. And also, it is still getting, ears on their music, and maybe you'll go buy something or whatever. But yeah, that doesn't mean it's okay to do it. So with showing images or something on Google, I actually don't know where that falls into, what realm that falls into. And I think that'd be really hard to avoid a lot of the time. But when it comes to playing videos or playing audio, yeah, I almost always try to mute a tab before I show it, or only show videos that would be on like a marketing page or something. Hi, Nick. I think I'm going to end the stream. I listen to Spotify music. Is that also prohibited? Yeah, it would be. Yeah, you very likely, even if it's public radio, you typically don't have the rights to just restream that. You need a broadcaster license or something. And I mean, where you live, that might not be true, but in the U.S., that's what I asked my lawyer about. So yeah, I'm going to end the stream here. I'm going to leave Botland online still. There weren't a lot of games played or anything. We at least crossed the 100 game threshold. I should be back tomorrow for streaming. And on Wednesday, I won't be able to start at the same time that I normally start at because we have an appointment in the morning. But I'm going to try to do some coding work off stream, or just some amount of work off stream. But yeah, I'm just feeling really tired. So thanks for watching. Sorry to jet in the middle of the day. Oh hey, there's the mower. The Eclipse didn't stop them. And yeah, I will go host Wheeze. So take care. See you, everybody.